What's poppin', world? We back at it again with another video. Let's get right into it. I know y'all seen the news. I'm here to break it down for y'all, so y'all read the title. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Breaking news: the Fed just cut the rates a whole half a point. Feel me? 0.5% or 0.5 points, however you want to put it. Basis points. So here's the big picture of this, right? This is how I feel like it's gonna go. I advise y'all to buckle up, strap up, because it's gonna be quite a ride. Now there's two different sides of how this economy is gonna be affected by this, right? And I feel like they're one and the same, but one has to come before the other. So, as you know, with economics, a lot of policies that get implemented, there's a delayed effect that carries after the fact. You know, it could happen 2, 3, 4, even a year after the fact that a certain situation has been implemented. It's kind of like the calm before the storm. So, right now, rates is going down, property value is now going down in the asset class, but here's the cognitive dissonance. Even with that all going on, there's going to be a short window, a time period where, because the rates are falling and the assets are falling as well, because those assets haven't fell further enough to meet the medium housing income, it's still going to force and bring pressure for sellers to cut and slash a lot of that equity down to put their stuff on the market, because now you're going to have more inventory coming in, right? There's going to be more inventory, meaning there's going to be more competition, meaning that the buyers can honestly just wait out another year, you feel me? Just because the competition is going to be around the same range, and it's going to be a race to the bottom to whose house is going to be picked over who, far as who wants to buy what, right? So, with that being said, that's the first phase, is that asset class, stock market might crash a little bit, or a correction, maybe not a crash. And what's the other one? So the rates is gonna come down, the assets is gonna come down due to more inventory coming in, and it'll come to me. But pretty much that's gonna be phase one. Phase one is pretty much the I think I was finna say the stock market. The stock market as well is gonna have the recession. Might be a small short-term recession where a lot of stuff is gonna be moving a lot slower, and then gradually you'll start picking up a lot of speed and start generating, more value again. That means the stock market, cars, housing, just due to more money printing, diluting the currency, you feel me, and inflation and stuff like that. And also as well, big bank is always gonna take little bank. That's just capitalism in a nutshell. Big bank's gonna take little banks. So when you have money, there's more money traveling up to the top than coming back down to the bottom, because it's the haves and the have-nots. That's just the simple game of economics and capitalism. You feel me? That's just what it is, right? So changing your mindset and stuff like that to look at it from a different perspective, that's definitely important. But 2 more half-point cuts are predicted to happen towards the end of this year, and next year it's gonna be a lot more slashing. And just kind of like in the pandemic, they keep cutting the rates too fast, you feel me, then it can spike up inflation again. Then they're gonna have to stop everything and then raise everything back up, and then maybe they have to cut it back down again. But each time it bounces back, it gets worse and worse and worse due to what? Debt. Debt. You know, debt is what separates the country financially. Because if you have the U.S. debt keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, a lot of that debt is going towards the ones that are benefiting off of debt, right? Because if you own stuff, you're in the asset class, for instance, then it expands your value of what you have because it's a store value, right? Like for instance, gold. Gold just went up. I think it's sitting at about $2,600 per ounce right now. And I looked, maybe like towards like early 2000s, an ounce of gold was only worth like $300, $300 plus dollars. And towards, I want to say like 2009, it was starting to get around the 900s to 1,000. Then maybe like 2012, it got up to like 13, maybe 1,600. Then it went back down to 1,100. And then towards the pandemic, it started to shoot back up towards that 2,000. And then it went back down again, and now it's up to, so that's economics. Everything is always going to be going up, 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 and up, up, right? That's why when they say adjustment for inflation, how much people were making back then in comparison to now, the equivalent is twice as much as what people were paying back then with adjusted inflation, because everything is a ratio, right? So if way back in the 1950s, let's just say, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a specific number just for this example, right? If a normal mortgage was like $700-800 a month, and your income was let's say $1,500 a month, your mortgage is about $700 a month, you're paying about, you know, half of your income on your housing, and then you move fast forward, and then now let's say your mortgage is $3,000, right? But then your annual income, or monthly income rather, is $6,000. Then you pay half, right? But that's if things moved, let's say, the ratio is the exact same, right? It's a 2-to-1 ratio. But if the second example was, instead of paying $3,000, right, you're paying the same $3,000, but you're only making $3,000, then you're paying twice as much on the ratio aspect as what it was before. But that's just an example of what was and what is now. But what's the strategy, right? What's the strategy? How do you approach this? This is, like I said, it's the calm before the storm. I feel like if you want to start a business, if you want to own a house, if you want to own a car, now's the time. Between right now and I say towards the end of 2026 is going to be the transitionary period where I feel like, especially with AI being, you know, a lot of stuff is going to be outsourced, and you just, you know, you want to keep up. You want to keep up with the Joneses. So that being said, I ain't gonna make this long video. I'm just leave it at that. Comment, like, subscribe. Go ahead, smash the subscribe button. If y'all got any thoughts, any comments, stuff of that nature, drop that below. I'm gone. I'm up out of here.